We are here to ignite an evolution. Not a revolution, an evolution.
100%.
Because what we're doing now doesn't match the need.
Produced by Podcast Architects.
Welcome back to another episode of The Path Forward here at TASB TexED Con. I'm your host, Dr. Rick Fernandez. I got friend of the program, energy personified, Superintendent West Sabine, Dr. Carnelius Gilder. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, Rick, thank you so much for inviting me back. I am so excited to be here just to tell a little bit more about our story. Had such a great time last time being with you all, so I'm glad to be here.
So you got your board with you. You're taking in some sessions. Community engagement. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing for community engagement.
So with us, it's not a little bit, it's a lot of bit. So we have taken it like 2.0, 5.0 really, with community engagement. That's our newest core value.
Okay.
And so with that, we've invited the community in for everything.
Give me some examples, because now.
So now we have just completely opened up our doors. So we have some new ways that our community can engage.
Sure.
We've hired new family and community engagement staff.
Nice.
So we've turned our high school and our elementary library into community engagement centers. I am working now. I have drawings I just got yesterday. My new administration building, we took over an old building that was shut down, and we're going to double in square footage so we can create a community development center with 3 flex spaces that are offices, a community development computer lab, and an oversized just space, community development space for conferences and all of that. So no, we're hitting it big.
So how are you making all this happen? I mean, West Sabine is not a large community, right?
No, we're a very small community.
So,
we have 900 people in my town. I think the sign says 882. I have 628 kids, but no, it's the new movement of Deep East Texas. And so the thing is, we really needed a champion. And so once we got a champion in place, it all fell into play, man. So we are all over East Texas as far as community development is concerned.
You know, the goal, I think, of every superintendent, every school district is to make the district the hub of the true hub of the community.
We are the hub. Every spoke comes out of our district, honestly.
So what type of services are you planning on offering? What activities? What's the draw?
Okay. So we have several core areas that we work with. One of them is health. So we have partnered with Lamar University through a USDA grant, and we will provide telehealth, not just for my students and my staff, but for our community as well. So we have 7 substations in my little bitty town.
So family members. So let's say some folks are struggling at the house, and that a family is struggling.
If they can set their appointment, they can come to my district and they can set up. We have a local partner as well, a local clinic. But then also, if they can get their specialists or whomever from around the world to connect, they can come and do their appointment in my office.
No, what?
Or our food pantry. I'm putting a station there. The office that I'm moving out of, I'm actually going to lease it for a food pantry in our senior activity center. So the district's going to own that building, and we're renovating that. We're renovating my new office. Our district just bought 10 acres adjacent to our district, to our high school campus, and we're going to bring a brand new life skills unit there. And we're trying to decide what we're going to do with the other piece of property. The technology-wise, we've partnered with the USDA. We've partnered with Save the Children. We've partnered with Partners for Rural Impact out of Berea, Kentucky. We partnered with Communities Unlimited out of Arkansas. And we are creating streams of strategic developments and plans for health, for food insecurity, for education, for early education, and for workforce development.
Okay, I'm going to take us down a rabbit hole because I was having a conversation this morning with Raise Your Hand Texas just about all the things that are going on.
Those are my friends.
Yes. I mean, they're all our friends. They're friends of public education. We were talking about how do you bridge this gap, right, between people wanting vouchers, all this stuff that's out there. And I offered up a solution. I said, here's I think the best route for us as educators. If you can integrate schools, public schools, and businesses intimately, where everybody has a stake, because we're dependent on
Exactly.
business, which I'm proud. I'm a proud Texan, and I'm proud that we are the #1 state for business and for people to come here and grow their opportunities. But who's going to be the ones that are working in those businesses? It's the students in our public education.
Exactly. On the global market, Texas is, I think, the 8th wonder of the world when it comes to economic development.
Yes.
And with that being said, East Texas has natural resources that nowhere in the state of Texas has. And so what we've done is we have worked with Raise Your Hand Texas. We have worked with the Texas Forest Country Partnership so that we can make sure that our area is at the forefront of business development. I go to all of their meetings. We had a huge meeting in Nacogdoches, and then we just did one in Kilgore where we discussed workforce and education. How do they marry? How do we build our programs in our schools
Right.
to match the labor need and the labor market? That's the piece where a lot of our schools have kind of dropped the ball. We actually need to look at labor statistics to
Yes.
build our pathways, and then let's meet the need, especially if they don't want to leave. My kids don't want to leave.
Exactly. So you're doing exactly what my suggestion was to Amy Dodson. It's like, if we can do that, number one, the investment, whether a business has students in the district or not, they're intimately involved, right?
Yes.
And I don't care what anybody says, when adults work with children, they love it.
Exactly.
They are invested into it. But you are creating the synergy that we all need to be creating, because we can't control all of the other things that are going on.
No. And it takes a partnership. We work very closely with the Texas Workforce Center. Our regional director for DPS Texas, the 12 counties, Mark Duran, he's a very close partner of mine. He actually has a spot in my new building. And we work closely, like I said, with Raise Your Hand Texas, the Texas Forest Country Partnership. We also work closely with other entities who have an interest. So they go and they do the study. It's not my job as the school's district superintendent to know what the labor market is.
Right.
That needs to be provided to me.
Sure.
And that has been done where we study our labor sheds. What is a labor shed? That's the routes that people travel to go to work and go to home, go to church, go to the grocery store. And that's
Yes.
about 6 counties in Deep East Texas. And so let us meet the need of my labor shed.
Man, so you're doing exactly what needs to happen.
Exactly.
I mean, so you have essentially created a community that's going to self-sustain,
Exactly.
not only educationally, but also the business, the workforce.
Exactly.
And you've done it by growing all of the partners. It didn't matter if it's 900 folks.
No, it doesn't matter at all. The thing is this: we took a hierarchy that was archaic, and we took it and we brushed it off, and we started again with this same hierarchy from the 1960s, actually, from our town when it was a bustling community.
Gotcha.
And so the lumber mill in my town went through a $120 million expansion, and so we are the #1 lumber producing mill in the South. And so that was a driver for me, particularly.
Sure.
How do we grow from that? But then also, how do you leverage that to get the attention that you need? And man, we've gotten national attention. I went to a huge meeting at Harvard this past summer, and we talked about building sustainable neighborhoods. And it's not just through schools. It's just, how does the community?
It's an ecosystem.
Yes. And last year, 2 years ago, we kicked off "If the Build It, You Will Come" mantra.
Yeah.
No, we took that and we just, pumped some steroids into it. And man, we are all over the place. So I have an invitation also to come visit the Harlem Children's Zone. So I can see, how do we need to redesign our school to meet those specialized needs, but then
Sure.
also connect with the neighborhood needs, and then build this ecosystem, because that's the thing, it's alive.
Yeah, no doubt. I need to get your perspective on this. So I'm a career and tech guy. That's my passion. One of my struggles have always been when schools are starting programs or continuing programs or whatever the case may be. Not only does it have to be a viable workforce for the future, but you got to know how to sell it to your kids.
Yes.
I worry that sometimes, so if you were to ask everybody here, all the adults about HVAC, make great living. But I always come back to who's going to sell that to
Exactly.
kids? I have a sense that you've got that figured out somehow, which most districts do not. We adults, we what do we experience? What do we know is a good thing to have, a good thing to do, but yet it doesn't translate when we're trying to tell a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, how do you sell your programming? What would you suggest to other districts? Like, I want to start this, but I gotta connect with the kids.
First things first, it's all about your approach. I believe in relationships over rigor any day. It starts with Maslow's. Everybody who is in educational administration had to learn about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so you need to build relationships. And if you build relationships appropriately, then it's nothing for me, the superintendent. If I have not gone to my high school or my elementary campus in a few days, and I show up, where have you been?
Yeah.
So I talk to the kids. I learn their interests. I have lunch with them. I buy lunch for them sometimes. And, I go play on the playground with them.
Yeah.
There's this picture that was floating around social media. I led a cheer camp with my third graders last year, and we were on the side, and, I did a handstand. God, I'm glad I made it out of that. But it's not hard after that.
Right.
It's not hard after
Right.
that. And once you learn your people, you have to get up from behind your desk, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And guilty as charged, all of us to some degree, right? You get bogged down in the putting out the fires, in the business of
Yes.
school, and
Yes.
you're not out there and about, and you lose the connectivity.
You do. But that's your number one driver.
You're right.
Because you know what you're not going to buy your children for Christmas, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
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 Exactly. Well, you got to do the same thing for your constituents as well. You have to know what they need, but then you also have to know what they want. Do surveys. Talk to them.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, look, we're thinking about this. Give me your thoughts. I have my own superintendent's advisory council. My principal, he has his council, but I want my own.
Sure.
Because it's a diverse group of students from across the district. I buy them pizza, and we go down and we just talk.
And they'll tell you the truth. They tell you about everybody.
They are raw. They are raw. And so I told them one day, I was like, hey, I'm thinking about this program so that we can make this a more kid-friendly school. It's about time, Dr. Gilder. Okay. So we ended up investing in the Leader in Me program. And thank God for my friends, the TLL Temple Foundation, who believe in my vision. Oh, my God. And so they've invested quite a bit of money in this program. And now the school is becoming the kids' school again. And so they are the drivers. And so what are we doing now for staff morale? What are we doing for student morale?
Right.
And what are we doing for community morale? Because the community now is being rebuilt by our kids. And so community development, all of that. I'm going to be dead after a while. This is going to be their world. And so, like you said, let's build it for the future,
Right.
but let's build it through their lens. So everything that we've discussed, building projects, we have several building projects we're preparing for. I told them, I said, you get your thoughts and your ideas out of the way. Let's put this and put the face of the child on this, and let's talk to them first.
Everything you just discussed and what's going on in West Sabine is amazing. And then now we have our A through F rating, right?
Yes.
And so you take everything that is going right, and the deck is reshuffled on what our accountability is. We don't really know. How do you communicate with your teachers, your staff, your students, if all of this positive and they start hearing in this negative,
Yes.
or on a one day I'm going to give you a grade and the grade is not going to be what you
Yes.
earned, and you've made a ton of growth, but it doesn't matter.
Yes. So one of the things that I'm extremely brutally transparent with my administrators and my teachers.
Okay.
And so the first things first, you said they reshuffled the deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I made sure that my staff knew that we reshuffled the deck in the middle of the game.
So explain.
So the academic year had already started.
Okay.
We just changed the test to all computer generated, right?
Right.
We went a year ahead, which is, head start for us.
Right.
But the year had already started, and then the criteria changed.
Exactly.
And so I told him, I said, listen, what we're doing, we're building our dream based on community-based accountability, not A through F.
Right.
Because if you do it community-based, and if you build your own personal accountability and your own local accountability, A through F will take care of itself.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I am not a fan of the accountability system as is, because there are a lot of factors that do not get woven into the big picture of the school. It's about a letter grade, but then when you reshuffle the deck, if I performed better, I get a worse grade. Where they do that? Like, come on, y'all. And I don't mind. I sit on legislative panels. I'm the Region 7 TARS legislative person. I'm the executive board committee member for Region 7. I'm on Moat Casey's, this, that, and the third. I'm on everybody's ordeal. And so, but I just tell them, y'all, it's about fairness. When are we going to turn school into school again?
Right. Right.
My teachers should not get ulcers because you changed this, but they're already fighting to grow anyway. Come on now.
And all we've ever asked, all we ever want is let's get better each day, get a little bit better.
Each day.
Get a little bit better.
I cannot expect. I had record gains in certain areas of my local accountability. I had teachers that knocked it out of the park. Like, I had to go back and realign my teacher incentive allotment criteria because that's how well they did. Do you think that I'm going to tell them, hey, you didn't do enough, and you had double-digit gains with kids? You had kids that have never passed a test before, not just pass, but meet growth, but then, come on. That's ridiculous. Did you do better? When you got a pat on the back from me. And right now, I'm the only opinion that matters.
That's right. And our business owners, our economy in Texas are well served by great public schools.
Exactly.
By great communities.
We are the partner.
Absolutely.
We're the cornerstone. But the thing is, we as the cornerstone, we actually need to reach out as well. We need to extend the olive branch. So do the businesses. But see, you do that through your advisory councils and so forth. Bring them to the table. What do you need? What are you looking for? We had a big discussion just last night at dinner about a local agent who he sits behind the curtain a lot. But I've gotten feedback from him as to how he feels about my students and how they're performing. And he said that he would hire a child from West Sabine any day. Well, you know what? I just won.
Absolutely.
I just won. And so, high wage, high demand, jobs, careers, let's connect them to those. Let's prepare them for those. We had to completely reshuffle our the way we were doing our CTE programs and our pathways. And 2 years ago, we just ripped it apart and we rebuilt it. But even from there, I finally have my first kid that's graduating with their associate's degree and their high school diploma at the same time, and in record time. And so now, where do we continue to grow from there? So, we're doing the job. And I'm excited about it. Am I tired? Yes, I am. I am dog tired.
When's the last time you slept? Like
last night.
I was going to say 2004.
No, I don't sleep a lot. When we go places, my wife drives, and I'm dead. And then we're here. Okay, lights, camera, action. Let's go. And so that's how a lot of that's done. But, on Sundays, we visit churches, we grab the microphone, we sell the vision there. At community events, I even lead a lot of our pep rallies. When we have Meet the Tigers, my staff make sure that I get the microphone so that I can, because they're proud. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Who puts the superintendent on the pep rally schedule?
Right.
Oh, Dr. Gilder's here, y'all. Let's go. Give it up for Dr. Gilder. I don't have anything to say. Come on, Dr. Gilder, come on down. Okay, y'all. Everybody wants to be a Tiger, and let's talk about why.
Yeah.
And they do.
Yeah.
Because people are moving in droves. So right now we're talking about housing developments. How do we let's build it. If they want to be here and we have sustainable, great systems, let's capitalize.
Vision cast a little bit for us down the road, a year down the road. 3 years down the road,
Yes.
what's next?
So what's next? I'll finally be in my new building. Prayerfully, my board has decided, not publicly yet, to go for a bond election, and so we're going to do a lot of cleanup.
Gotcha.
But then we're also going to do it through the lens of CTE, through the lens of athletics, which connects our public, through the lens of fine arts, culinary arts, nursing, through the lens of just making our place more credible, which is our most important core value. And so hopefully we'll be down the road of getting projects started. Like I said, we're purchasing property now because what we want to do, we want to expand the brand.
Yes.
And so hopefully by that time, my partners will have come to the table and we will have a multi-agency and multi-district CTE development, prayerfully an early college. I already have the people ready to, invest. So they're already at the table. So let's go ahead and decide what we want to do. Because my thing is this, and I've told my neighbors this, and I'm putting them on the spot right now. I have 5 districts that are my neighbors, and we had a meeting one day with Region 7. And I told them, I said, I'm going to tell you the thing about West Sabine. When West Sabine eats, everybody eats. I don't care if your kid has a bulldog on their chest, a hornet on their chest, a wolf. I'm calling them out now.
I know.
A wolf on their chest or a wildcat on their chest. When the tiger eats, everybody eats. So let's build a table. Let's feed our crew. Let's bring them. And let's grow them all. And so hopefully by that time, that momentum will be going. When I tell you we're touching every area, and it's getting national attention. Like I told you, I have an invitation to be at the Children's Zone in Harlem next month. I was in Harvard this past summer, and I met with these groups from New York and South Carolina and Arizona and New Mexico and across the country. Like, we were planning how to do this, and I was like, we've never seen this done through a school. I said, you have now. And so we're learning while the plane is in the air. And so prayerfully, next time I come, I'll tell you about this multi-million-dollar endeavor that we've kicked off with these new partners. And I would say their names so I can put a little pressure on them.
That's up to you.
So that we can now, fund this ecosystem and make it even larger than what we thought.
You got me fired up just thinking about it. I'm serious. Like, I'm like, what can I get a job? Can I?
That's another thing. We're creating jobs.
Yep.
My partners from Kentucky, they've created 2 East Texas jobs. We just hired one last week for place-based partnerships, and that's what we're trying to become. We're trying to become a geographic place-based partnership with funders. I hosted the Texas Real Funders 2 weeks ago.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. We had lightning and thunder in that room.
You got to let me in on some of this.
You got to come. Because, people from Abilene and San Antonio and all of them, El Paso, they were there to hear this vision. Because the thing is, we are here to ignite an evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Not a revolution, an evolution.
100%.
Because what we're doing now doesn't match the need.
We were talking with our TALAS group. We had hosted an event for superintendents and talking about the experience and what can we do better, right? Bringing superintendents and service providers to shape the need, to talk, to say, we need this, here's our gaps, here's where the gaps are going to be. And we started talking about our own frame of reference, which is it can't be from our frame of reference, because our frame of reference is not what kids need. It's not what they're going to experience.
Yes.
It's not. We got to get out of the mind. That's the most dangerous thing, and it's hard because all we are is a product of our experience.
Exactly.
But we've got to look beyond that to understand what I think they need or what I think is good for them may already be out of date.
Exactly.
And if we don't realize that when we're building, when we're constructing programs, all this, then we're always a decade behind.
Well, and Sin, I like how you frame that, because we have to use our caveats such as TALAS, TASB, TARS. I'm looking at my TARS director here in front of me. But you got to step outside of education.
You have to.
So I've done this through I call it community development because nobody's doing that.
Right.
But we're utilizing economic development. So I'm meeting with, I would call their names out, but about 4 or 5 economic development corporations
Right.
around me because we don't have one. I'm the economic developer.
Oh, okay.
Now, our county has an economic development committee, and I'm on that committee.
Sure.
And my county judge has supported us as well. Our commissioners have supported us. And so, with that being said, when we're talking about education, let's go ahead and talk about workforce.
Because they should be this.
Yes.
Always. It should never be
Yes. My representative, Travis Clardy, man, I give him kudos every day. My neighboring representative, Trent Ashby, those are some of the very few that supported public education. My Senator Robert Nichols, you know what he did by himself as the only Republican that supported. So guess my platform is built.
Yeah.
And so how dare we not utilize the opportunity? Now, I'm going to die and I may not receive the Nobel Peace Prize, but I do want to create a better world for not only my personal children, not only for the children in my district, but again, use those caveats. TASA just kicked out. I mean, I'm a part of the Future Ready Superintendents.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. If you're not in that, shame on you.
Yeah.
But then we just kicked off the Small Schools Network. And the purpose for the Small Schools Network, I'm on the design team for that, is to share these stories and build these networks for other small schools to know you can do it too. You say what you don't have? Well, guess what? I don't have a red light in my community. I have a grocery store in my community that may be the size of this booth. The only restaurant that we have that was a part of a chain got shut down because of a sinkhole. Don't tell me what you cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me.
So y'all are on the way.
Oh, we're well on our way. As Maya Angelou says, we're en route.
I'm not that refined. Man, well, as always, it's a pleasure to have you and to hear the things. And, you know, it's great because others need to hear this. Other colleagues, other districts, not just in Texas, but
Yes.
around, because I'll be in DC in 3 weeks, working with a group of superintendents on public-private partnerships because funding.
You may see me.
You're invited.
You may hear my name in there.
They would say, come on. They said I can invite whoever I want.
But that's the thing. We as superintendents are not coming to that table because we think that we're not invited. But the question is, how do you get to the table?
That's
Because the thing is, you know, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
That's right. That's right. You're absolutely right.
And so let's figure out that way. I've been blessed to be able to go through the economic development realm and continue and don't change your story.
Mm-mm.
Tell the same story in every room, you know, and it grows from there. And so the calls will come, but again, if you have self in mind, if you have your career in mind and you don't have your kids in mind,
Yeah.
you'll fail.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
fail. And so I'm excited, man. I cannot tell you how pumped up I get when I think about this because, wow,
Yeah.
it makes a better world.
This is what it can be.
Yeah.
It's what
Why
it
were you
should be.
created?
Yeah.
Why were you created? That's the question.
Well, as always, you're welcome, and we can have a conversation offline because I want to hear more. I gotta get my butt down there. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Come, yeah, you remember because last time we talked about we got to do an on-site situation.
We do. Darren.
So listen, when I get ready for this big community development ribbon cutting, we're gonna have all of the rock stars there, all of the representatives there. I
Let
want
me
you
know.
to come.
I will
want
come.
you-
We will come.
Bring the equipment.
We'll bring everything.
Let's do this because this is gonna be something remarkable.
We'll do it. You got me. Let me
Yeah.
know.
I'm telling you, I got you.
Thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you, man. I thank you again for the opportunity. It's always a pleasure to be here with
Well,
you.
I get fired up by you being here. So you made my event. So now I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir. Let's roll.
Okay, before you go, what do you want to message? What do you want to shout out? How can people get in contact with you if they want to partner with you?
Okay, so if you want to partner with me, there are several ways to do that. First of all, family and friends of public education, thank you for believing in us. You're here and you see this podcast because you believe in public education. I'm not the only rock star of education that's trying to go and find and hunt and peck and put things together for my kids. There are a lot of us. So number one, encouragement and support is number one. So find me on my Twitter. I'm at Carnell Gilder, CarnellGilder. Reach out to me there, connect, follow, let's talk. But then also support your schools. That's number one. But then if you want to follow West Sabine, find me there. And I promise you, we will feed the nuggets. You'll see what we're connected to. You'll see our various economic and community development partners. Jump in and let's roll. And so I'm not hard to find. So let's just do it that way and continue just to support our kids. That's the main thing.
And he will respond, because that's how we connected. I said, hey, I like your energy. Would you just be a guest? And now here we are. So and it's going on 2 years, and it'll be many more. So very responsive. Please reach out.
Yeah, LinkedIn, just find me by my name, or Twitter is where I am the most. I've been a little quiet lately because we've been a little busy, but find us there, and I'll be happy to connect. And I will tell you about our vision, our mission, our goal, because that's where this all started.
That's right.
And so we built it from within. And so just do that. And if you want to be a partner, I'm glad to have you. And so just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you.
Produced by Podcast Architects.